What's up, guys, and welcome back to the Battle of Central Europe Season 3. We are going to be continuing on with the winners bracket. That's what we have, not all for today, just for right now. We got Buhlo going up against Power Rangers. Buhlo were comfortably sitting in the second round because they were at the top of their group, and Power Rangers already beat their way through their round 1 match up against Jaipur, which they won 2-1. So here we are, and, well, the schedule is kind of messed up now. But hopefully the schedule is more or less going to settle itself out as time progresses. But you know, it's a tournament in esports. There is almost no chance of that actually happening because, for example, this game was supposed to start 17 minutes ago. Here we are now. 17 minutes isn't that bad, but you know, certainly it's a lot more than it should be. It should be 0 minutes. It should be starting right on time. But that's not to be because no one is ever in the lobby at the right time, and it's just a whole big issue. But anyway, here on HeflaTV Hitbox 1, we have ourselves a best of 3. I'm Mike Loris. I'm going to be your only caster today. Sad times all alone, but it should be a fun time regardless because Power Rangers, their first pick, it is going to be that IO. And they've been running with this IO for quite a few games in the group stages, and also I believe they used it a couple times versus Jaipur in their previous best of 3. So it's been a pretty reliable hero for them to pick up thus far. And Buhlo, they're going to waste no time to go on the aggressive route. And they could have picked up something like a Razor, a little bit safer in that regard, but no, they're going to go Ogre Magi Legion Commander, and then it's going to be responded to with a Necrophos. This is a very interesting opening from both teams. First of all, the Necrophos is going to be a usually one position hero. You want him to get as much farm as possible, want him to get his level 16 as fast as possible, and you want to be able to scythe things as fast as possible. Doesn't really have a great combination with IO. Overcharge is almost 100% wasted, and though I guess it is nice to doubly heal yourself with Death Pulse, the synergy is just not there. So usually the one position hero is going with the IO, but I don't really know if that's going to be the case this game. It is possible just to get Necrophos in and maybe steal a kill here or there with Scythe, which might be worthwhile, but just seems like Power Rangers would be better suited with a different IO partner, and that's still possible. We'll see if they want to go down that route. We do see the Razor being banned out in the second phase along with Slark. Those are the two powerhouse heroes that are still in. And, well, Buhlo, after the Legion Commander over Magi, the Disruptor pick against IO, first of all, makes a lot of sense. Second of all, it's a good protection hero when you have Legion Commander on your team, as Legion really doesn't like having herself glimpsed out of a duel, because then it just takes a whole big issue, and you're normally not going to win those duels. You're not going to lose either. But, you know, the duel fizzles and you don't have extra damage, and you're feeling pretty sad about that. But Power Rangers, they're going to go for a Jakiro, so this is looking to be like a very aggressive lineup for them with an IO. Like, so far I don't really see how the IO fits in right now, but, I mean, Necrophos, Jakiro, that's a lot of sustain, first of all, from Necrophos, a lot of sustained pushing from the Jakiro. The IO does give your team a little bit of sustain here and there, but if you're just picking him up to heal, then there are other heroes that can do that, i.e. Witch Doctor, who will be able to heal up your team and at the same time contribute a lot more. If you're just using IO for a sustained hero, then you're probably doing it wrong. So I would expect this Jakiro to be played as core for now, but this is already 2 cores with Power Rangers, and none of which are typical IO partners, neither of which are even good IO partners, to be frank. I mean, neither of these 2 heroes benefit from overcharge. The heal is certainly going to be nice on anyone, but that doesn't really count. You want to be able to relocate in with the hero and then absolutely destroy a fight once you arrive. And Necrophos, Jakiro, I mean, they're okay, but it's definitely not as explosive as a Tiny or something like that. So I'm not entirely convinced at this Power Ranger lineup just yet. But for Buhlo, I mean, they already have the Legion Commander, they already have Bloodlust on their team. Their supports are a mix of offense and defense. Disruptor typically a defensive hero, but with an Ogre Magi, anything can happen. I wouldn't be surprised to see a Troll Warlord or something like that being picked up from Buhlo, just to have more influence within that duel. Although, knowing you're up against already 3 ranged heroes, and quite a bit of aggression, maybe Troll Warlord isn't really the hero that you want to be picking up. They're running out of time, so they have to make a selection now. Okay, Centaur isn't too bad. You can never go wrong with a Centaur. So it's a little bit of initiation for Buhlo. That, with the blinking duel, is going to be pretty dangerous. Necrophos, if he's caught unawares, then he's not going to have a great way out, except for maybe IO relocate, which is always a possibility. But Centaur just going to get Buhlo a way to start those fights. And right now, Power Rangers don't really have any ways of doing that. Maybe eventually Yule Scepter into Ice Path is going to be a decent way of starting a fight, but that's a pretty low damaging opening as compared to a Centaur War Runner who, could dump out some serious damage very quickly, and it's all going to be very surprising. So for Centaur, I think the initiation is going to benefit him. It's possible Power Rangers just pick up a Bat Rider, but then the Io is just, stranded there. Like, Io Necrophos is going to be the combination, and who knows, maybe they might relocate him to the most perfect of scenarios all the time, but this makes a little bit more sense, actually. Okay, I could dig it. I mean, Dragonite going towards the mid lane knows that he is most likely up against the Legion Commander, which is an okay matchup for his Dragonite. Again, Dragonite doesn't really ever lose any matchups, he just doesn't win them. He's a perfectly mediocre mid-hero. And when you partner him up with Io, he suddenly becomes very good. Overcharge in Dragon form is the real deal. Having the extra sustain on Dragonite is huge because he is so tanky. And it is going to contribute a lot to their pushing power as well. So Power Rangers, they're well sustained, and they have a lot of pushing power. All they need, I think, right now is a Witch Doctor. It's going to be Nature's Prophet to be banned out, which I think is perfectly reasonable. When you expect to be pushed by Jakiro and dragons, double dragons, 2.5 dragons, then you really don't want to be pushed by anything else. And right now, Buhlo don't really have the most crowd clearing. So I like the Nature's Prophet ban. Ember Spirit as a hero to fight early. I mean, it certainly is possible. I just don't know if Buhlo have enough to defend themselves against this Power Ranger push right now. Because this Power Ranger push is certainly very dangerous. It's not the most classic of pushing that we've seen, as it's mostly just the Dragon form and Liquid Fire. But really, that's all you need. If they really want to, they could go for a Lycan as the last pick. And you know what? I actually don't mind that one bit. Shove Jakiro over to a support role, have a nice combination there, or just go for Earthshaker. Okay, I mean, you know you're up against an Ember Spirit. You know that you're up against Legion Commander. You might as well get a long-range stun on the board and, keep the Jakiro as the core. I don't know. I would have liked to see a Lycan there, mostly because it would have given them a lot more pushing power. It would have been a great partner for Io, so that Io wasn't going to be restricted just to one hero. And it's just going to be a tanky hero overall and a nuisance for Buhlo to deal with. But it's not going to be the case as we are now in this game, guys. Let's see what we got. Oh, hell yeah. That's what I'm talking about. Only one, though. That's fine. Alright, guys. On the Radiant side, we got Buhlo currently playing from the winners bracket round 2 on top of their group. Seema the Slayer is going to be playing the Ogre Magi with Pashubashi joining him down towards the bottom lane as the Ember. Mid lane is going to be handled by No One's Legion Commander. Top lane we got Afterlife, and the last hero is Arzeek, who following up on the Disruptor. Bottom lane Cheshire Cat is going to be playing the Jakiro with double rings of protection, expecting an aggressive lane. He's going to be supported for now by Soniko on the Io as well as J4 on the Shaker. Over towards mid, Ditchia Ra is going to be on the Dragon Knight, and Shocho is going to be on the Necrophos also with double ring of protection. Man, look at these rings of protection, man. I mean, if I can press the button, yeah, look at this. We got like double on Afterlife, got double on Cheshire Cat, and double on Shocho. They got armor for days in this game. No one's going to be taking physical damage ever. Of course, it is a weird situation up on top since Afterlife is going to know that he's up against most likely a solo Necrophos, so even though you can block a little bit of his 48 damage harass, it really wasn't going to be the right clicks that was going to be bringing you down. As a Centaur, it was going to be that Heartstopper aura. See, look how much damage he's taking. Literally a million damage. But anyway, Shocho is going to get a little bit of help now from Soniko. We might actually just see dual lanes from the Power Rangers. It might actually be the dual lanes on the side lanes. Maybe Ditchia Ra is going to get a little bit of help here and there. The trees are still up right now for Power Rangers, so pulling is going to be a little more difficult. But no, Soniko's going to stay up on top lane. Honestly, don't know if this Io can do too much to pressure back the Centaur. First of all, Centaur already has double rings. And second of all, Io doesn't really do that much in lane ever. Aside from just pull and do stuff like that. Oh man, I was hoping that this was going to be one of those games where we just weren't going to have any pauses. It was just going to be fine. But no. Of course it has to be paused, guys. I wish teams would actually give a reason whenever they pause. That should be like an official rule in all tournaments. It's like if you're going to pause the game for like more than 10 seconds, then you have to give a reason or a straight out disconnect. Like, come on. Anyway, Centaur War Runner is going to be up against this lane, and Heartstopper Aura has already been picked up, so Ring of Protection not really going to be doing anything for him. Although it is pretty standard to grab a ring and then eventually go for those Tranquils. And that will heal you through Heartstopper Aura since you're not actually being hit by anything. It's just like you're affected by negative regeneration. So eventually he'll be able to withstand this, but until then, slow burn of that HP pool, and he's already going to go for a return just to mitigate some of that harassment. And it should be Centaur Warrunner not getting too much up on the top lane. Ditchura over towards mid, going up against no one. Again, should be a very easy lane, as Dragon Knight usually doesn't win these lanes, usually doesn't lose these lanes. Legion Commander is kind of the same way. They both have their skills, their respective skills, in order to get some last hits, except for that creep, which was completely messed up by no one. But you know, you'll have Fire Breath, as well as that overwhelming odds, and if they trade hits here and there, they should be relatively on par with each other, just because of the Moment of Courage, as well as Dragon Blood. I would say, for the most part, should be a wash. Although, of course, it does come down to how lucky they are. Taking a look at the bottom lane now, we got Jakiro being supported by Shaker. Rather defensive setup. They'll be able to chip and poke at the Ember Spirit a little bit, but really nothing too substantial. As over towards mid, Ditchura. He's going to take a Thunder Strike from the Disruptor who rotated in, but not too much damage there. He has his bottle already, the Dragon Knight, so he's not in any too much trouble in this situation. We have a bottom lane, Cheshire Cat. He's going to be just fine up against Pashibashu solo. As long as the Ogre Magi and Disruptor aren't actively here and actively attacking the Jakiro, then it's just going to be Liquid Fire spam pretty much 24/7, and Cheshire Cat's going to be very happy about that. Of course, he does have 2 rings of protection, which are kind of dead in his inventory right now, but that's not really a terribly huge deal, as Jakiro, even from level 1, is decent in the lane, but gets much, much better as he progresses on with levels. J4 running into Seema the Slayer against a Boots first Ogre Magi. This is not where you want to be, and J4 suddenly in a lot of trouble, but no, it's going to be Seema to fall back. I mean, this is an Ogre Magi with full health, but I guess he figured no more mana, no more fighting. And it's a relatively restrained choice from Seema the Slayer in order to fall back from that scenario. Could have gone deep and could have potentially gotten first blood onto J4, but not going to take that risk. Instead, more than happy just to get his team a little bit of farm, as Buhlo, they are going to be the team that is going to want to farm until their Blink Daggers. No one is going to get the Blink Dagger. Centaur is eventually going to get the Blink Dagger as well. And once that happens, then they can start contesting the Power Rangers pushing. But Power Rangers are certainly going to be pushing before those Blink Daggers come up. At least they should. If it comes to a situation where Power Rangers are pushing and Buhlo, are nowhere near the Blink Daggers, then it's going to be very dangerous for Buhlo. But it shouldn't be that way for a long time. If Buhlo somehow get their Blink Daggers before the push happens, then I don't see a push from Power Rangers going anywhere anytime soon. I'm getting some frame rate lag. Is this happening for anyone else? It looks fine on stream, but it just doesn't look fine on my screen. But I know we see Seema the Slayer. Oh no, walled off between Shacho and Soniko. Seema the Slayer is going to run right through that tether, drop an Ignite, but Shacho, right on his tail, is going to sustain the damage, and that's going to be the death of Ogre Magi. First blood drawn by Shacho, even with a little bit of help from Afterlife. The Ogre is going to go down. Definitely did not expect a fissure to come from this angle, as you very rarely expect that, especially since J4 was just in the middle lane, so it's like, oh, well, there's no chance Earthshaker will now be up on top lane. That's literally impossible. Anyway, bottom lane, Cheshire Cat, well, he's doing decently versus Pashibashu, and I'm going to very quickly try to close down some things and try to solve these frame rate issues, so hold on, guys. Close all the things. Hopefully that's a little bit better. It'll actually look a lot better. Man. Small things, man. Small things making big differences until it drops again. Yeah, I don't know what's going on. I don't know. Maybe it's just like early morning internet here, because usually the stream is just fine, but it definitely isn't flowing as smoothly as it normally does. Regardless, hopefully it's not going to be a problem. Hopefully it just fixes itself, because I don't know how to fix it, guys, without like shutting everything down and turning it back on again, but I'm not going to do that because that's way too much work. Anyway, first blood going the way of Power Rangers, but we do see Ember Spirit and Legion Commander both leading in the way of CS, so it's fine if they're going to lose a kill here or there. Now they're going to try to go aggressive onto the Jakiro. Glimpse, not even leveled up as Disruptor, only level 2 on the hero right now, so no Glimpse incoming, and well, they can, in theory, get a Glimpse kill on Cheshire Cat, even with J4 around. If you glimpse them into a kinetic field into the damage over time from Ember Spirit, even though the Jakiro is very strong against physical, not as much so against the sustained magical damage the Ember Spirit is able to put out. So opportunities certainly are there. Cheshire Cat has to be very wary of those opportunities because Seema has also rotated in, but still, I mean, no glimpse, you're not going to get this kill. Over towards mid, Ditchura and no one getting into a very serious fight. That was actually first usage of duel 5 minutes in. That's an incredibly early duel for this Legion Commander. Unfortunately for her, it didn't really work out as it did fizzle. It could be worse though. You could give the enemy a little bit of damage. So no one's going to be okay with his situation right now. I mean, honestly, most Legion commanders aren't even level 6 at this point. So if you have a duel by this point and you don't use it well, that's fine. You'll have another one soon enough. Pashibashi down towards bottom. He's going to be just fine. Taking a couple of skills here and there, but he has 3 points in the shield, so no real chance he's going to die to this almost purely physical damage, or purely magical damage lane of Power Rangers, as the shield does give you a ridiculous amount of survivability in these situations. Up towards top lane, we might see a rotation in, but really Soniko, level 4 Io, really doesn't want to participate that much. It's going to be level 6 on the Dragonite and almost level 7 on Jakiro. That is really going to start things off. Once you max out the Liquid Fire, you have the Dragon form. You could push as a team or just as a very small scale force. You can just send the Jakiro down his lane, send the Dragonite down his lane, and then Buhlo going to need multiple heroes on each of those lanes in order to defend. And right now they have a couple heroes down towards bottom, and they might look for an opening onto the Jakiro, but I mean, they're not going to find said opening, and towards the mid lane, no one. Looking for another duel versus Ditchy-Ra, but he's not going to win that duel without some substantial help. Legion Commander from the get-go is decent at these situations, but not the best. Cheshire Cat going to try to now be on the defense, rather, versus Pashibashi, who will get out of there with his guard. As promised, does a ridiculous amount of sustain for you. Another Fire Blast being cooled down. Now Cheshire Cat is going to take it. Our Zeke doesn't have any more mana, no more skills in Cheshire Cat. With the physical resistance that he has, he's going to be just fine. Turn things around even with a Liquid Fire, Ice Path, and Dual Breath combo. Ogre Magi burning pretty hard, but he's going to be just fine. Still no blood happening on this bottom lane, which is quite honestly surprising. With this many heroes here this often, you would expect someone to have died by now. But it might actually happen right now as J4 is rotating in. He's going to see Seema, and then is going to instead maybe have to defend because Cheshire Cat's being dove of Pashibashi. The slow burn of the shield is going to kill him off. In the meantime, top lane, relocate in. Soniko with the help of Ditchy-Ra is going to help kill off the Centaur Warrunner. Shacho takes the last hit. Scythe kill? Yes, that was a scythe kill. Centaur Warrunner down for about 10 years now, as he is going to hit with that ultimate, and not much you could really do about that. Was that even a relocate? No, that wasn't. That was Ditchy-Ra and Soniko coming in from the side. So, you know, coming in from this area, and not much you could do as a Centaur. You're not going to have vision there, not for a very long portion of the game. So, top lane, first tower destruction from Ditchy-Ra's first dragon form use. Now is going to, well, run into no one, who misses overwhelming odds, but conveniently finds a regen rune, so everything's fine there. But first tower now being destroyed by Power Rangers, with Cheshire Cat roaming towards the middle lane after dropping down bottom. And well, this tier 1 tower looking awfully tasty. Dragonite still with a little bit of dragon form left in him. They're going to set up for no one. Ice Path is on, but here comes Seema and Arzeek. Ditchy-Ra can hit with a pretty large overwhelming odds. Now the kinetic field is up, plus the Stampede. Ditchy-Ra is going to get beaten down. First dual win is incoming for no one. That's going to be on the very tanky Dragonite. They're going to try to chase down Cheshire Cat with no Blink Daggers. I really don't see this one happening. He's going to try to get himself to the trees. Ice Path going to catch Afterlife. Teleportation Support is coming in. Cheshire Cat J4 here. They're going to catch no one in a corner, and that might be another kill on the Legion. However, she's going strong on J4. J4 is going to get struck by Thunder, and now he's going to go down. Not before stunning off no one, so it will be an even trade, but honestly, I don't think the Earthshaker expected to go down there, as it should have just been the Legion Commander to fall after such a perfect fissure. So it's a little bit more than Buhlo really expected to have happen, but it's a little bit more nonetheless. Now it's going to be mid lane, though. Liquid Fire maxed out. Ring of Basilius turned on. Actually, 2 Rings of Basilius turned on. Doesn't stack, but just to send a message, I suppose. Mid lane is going to be pushed, and there's nothing that Buhlo can really do about this. Blink Dagger status, nowhere close from Afterlife. He has Tranquil Boots completed, which is nice, but not enough. Legion Commander, Blink Dagger status, also not even close. So mid-tower destruction now from the Power Rangers. They're going to slide their way down bottom and do the exact same thing, because honestly, there's nothing that Buhlo can do to stop them. They have no way of initiating a fight aside from maybe a Stampede. But really, do you want to Stampede into this? You're going to be Stampeding into a Fissure, straight into a Dragon Tail, and, well, Dragonite is going to have his Dragon form when he is pushing, so it's even a range stun. Yeah, aside from Blink Daggers, Buhlo, they're not going to have a good time. And why am I getting notifications now of people playing games? I turned that off. Steam, why are you doing this? Why are you changing my settings without consulting me? I don't enjoy this. I don't think you guys can see it because of how OBS works, but still very annoying. It's going to be an attempted tower trade over towards mid lane. No one and RZ going to do their best at taking down this tower, but there is Shaker here, so he can interrupt this for quite a long time with the fortification as well. It certainly is no match for this double dragon push, as Ditchy-Ra and Cheshire Cat going to demolish that tower. Now they're going to try to make a defense. Fissure already been used, and this tower Maybe it's going to be Buhlo trying to aggressively take this, and it will be. The teleportation's in from Power Rangers a little bit too slow. Looking for a Dragon Tail, won't find it onto anyone. Kinetic Field going to hold them all out. Still, it's going to be Ditchy on the chase. He's going to get chained up by Pashu, taking quite a bit of magic damage. Now into the Thunderstrike. Ice Path is going to land onto Pashu, though, and Ditchy taking quite a bit of damage. Scythe, though, is going to be thrown towards the Ember Spirit. Will not do much, as the duel has already been won by no one. Now going to try to go for Ditchy as Pashu reinitiates. Cheshire Cat, focus down, magic damage, chained to the floor. Centaur is going to look to jump in again. Macropyre on the deck, but it will do nothing, as no one collects a double kill from that. Power Rangers getting caught with a stray kinetic field and throwing a Scythe for nothing, having no Echo Slam on the Earthshaker, and I don't really know if he had more than one Fisher there either. It was certainly a messy fight, and even though Dragonite is tanky, is the hero you want to have in the front lines, this is only a level 8 hero. He can only tank up so much, and, you know, he's still has a pretty heavy strength build, but only level 2 in that Dragon Blood. He's not going to be tanking as much as you really would expect from a Dragonite at this stage. And now it's going to give the Legion Commander her Blink Dagger. She already has 2 stacks of damage, which is a little bit better than where you want to be at this stage, so she's going to be very happy about that. And Centaur also almost has his Blink after that fight. I mean, all 3 tier 1 towers are down for Buhlo, but it doesn't seem like they're playing like it. I mean, no one is still going very aggressively. However, he's now walled off. He's going to show off his Blink to escape. Kind of unfortunate for Power Rangers in that regard, but Centaur is going to soon have his Blink, and Power Rangers, they need to take some tier 2 towers before that happens, because it is very possible that Buhlo start mounting some serious defenses, and Legion Commander getting out of control is a real threat. That being said, even if this game does drag on late, Ember Spirit and Legion Commander both very vulnerable to the likes of a Scythe. You can never discount a Necrophos late game, because he can and will change the game. J4, though, going to get caught in a Static Storm and a duel. My god, there's nothing any hero could have done about that. And Legion Commander is going to claim her 3rd stack of damage. That's only a level 1 duel as well. Not really the best for Legion Commander at this stage, but hey, I mean, it's only 12 minutes in, and having 3 stacks of damage is really, really nice. Top lane relocate. Afterlife is going to set up for a stomp. Ditchy is going to get the stun out first, however. Now Afterlife is going to get Scythe very perfectly executed by the Power Ranger side, even landing the Scythe kill. So the Centaur is down for more time. Dragon Form has already been used. Where is the Jakiro? He is nowhere close. Just wants his Yule Scepter, although he could be in this push. Honestly, they don't really need him, because Steam is bugged. That's what I thought. Friggin' Steam, man. Ditchy with his Dragon Form is going to just be poking at this tower, and they might have enough damage to take it. They might not. There's another duel in the Legion, so they might want to make a defense Buhlo, but this is a difficult pair of heroes to initiate into. And hey, Cheshire Cat's here as well. So now with the Liquid Fire on, this tower is almost guaranteed to fall. Centaur Blink Dagger status slowed down by a little bit because he is dead for so long. So that's a very essential kill for Power Rangers to take. They're going to try to make a defense. No one going to blink forward, looking for a duel, but ends up, getting stunned by the Dragon Tail. Ditchy is going to be focused down. No one burning, and the Macropyre is going to go down. Yes, Ember Spirit is going to take that one, and now onto the Dragonite he goes. That's already a 1-1. Ember Spirit did not kill off his friend Legion Commander. I don't know what I just said, but it's going to be a tower destroyed, I believe. Yes, destroyed by Cheshire Cat. It's going to be Io killing off the Legion and Ember Spirit killing off the DK. So a relatively even fight as far as that is concerned. Legion Commander didn't even get the duel off there, as Dragon Tail is a very, very fast stun to come out. But still, Power Rangers, even though they lose their Dragonite, he already did his job there, in that the job was to take the tower, and hey, tower is not there anymore. Even though Centaur is going to very quickly have his Blink Dagger, the amount of farm Power Rangers are getting is certainly very threatening. I mean, Jakiro, Dragonite don't really need that much, but they already have their Yule Scepter on the Jakiro flying out right now. DK is going to go for what looks like Helm of the Dominator, although could be Armlet if Power Rangers really want to end the game early. It would make more sense for it to be a Dominator, just because the Armlet build, again, you want to end the game early, and if you want to end the game early, you don't get a Hand of Midas on your Necrophos. You get something a little bit more smashy, like a Rod of Atos, something like that. So it's going to be most likely that Dominator. But either way, it's going to be Dragonite severely bulking up. I mean, he's already dropping a couple times. 3 deaths on the DK with very few rotations over towards mid. Not normally what happens, as he is usually a lot more durable than that, but always getting hit with the huge overwhelming odds, and any hero would have been dying in those situations. So DK, very strong versus physical, not as much so versus magic. But Necrophos actually going for a mechanism after his Hand of Midas pickup. So this is actually still a very aggressive game for Power Rangers. 8-5 right now, though, and it doesn't look like they're going to be pushing up high ground anytime soon. So Power Rangers might want to just take a pause and try to get a couple more items up. But I don't know. I mean, they have a core Jakiro. They want to be pushing as aggressively as they possibly can. They are going to start the push down in bottom lane. It's going to be Ditchira to just, be down there with the rest of his team. Shacho and Saniko, of course, have the relocate potential in. So it's going to be Necrophos and Io happily farming until a gank train comes up there. And choo-choo. No one is leading charge. Has pressed the attack. Afterlife has initiation with the Blink Dagger, and he will land it on Shacho. Where is the Legion Commander, however? Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me right now? I mean, there's only so many ways you can describe what's going on right now, but I'm like 100% sure Power Rangers know what's happening right now. They should not see these illusions, so they may not know that there is a Legion here. But, I mean, if Centaur just randomly jumps into a Necrophos, you should know what's going on, more or less. And they also should see the Ogre Magi. So, Shacho, though he is stunned, he's actually going to give chase, force out the Stampede. Botched gank from the Power Rangers. Botched gank from Buhlo, rather. As no one was not in position for that. Didn't expect his ally to go in, and, well, certainly wasn't ready for that jump. It could have easily been assassination onto Shacho if they got in and got out, but instead, they're now forced into this awkward situation where they know Power Rangers that Buhlo are around, and they don't really care, because bottom lane is still pushing, and there is a relocate out for Saniko to get Shacho out of danger. They're going to see our Zeke. They are not going to know that there's an invisible Centaur here. You normally don't expect invisible Centaurs. Glimpse back on Shacho into a Static Storm. Stomp is going to be held, though. Once again, a botched gank by Buhlo. Shacho's going to take a little bit of damage, but he has a mech and death pulse. He's perfectly fine right now, especially with Sadist charges. And bottom lane is being pushed. No one is going to jump in on Cheshire Cat, but there's a fissure. There's a Dragon Tail as well. No one is not going to win this duel. It's going to fizzle, luckily for him, but Teleportation coming in. Ember Spirit. Oh, you don't want to be there. There's still a Dragon Tail. No, there isn't, actually. He's going to Echo Slam J4. That's okay. I guess you could do that. But Ember Spirit boldly teleporting into that scenario. Luckily, doesn't die. Regardless, it is still a Scythe kill on the Legion Commander, who, for some reason, decided it would be a good idea to try to duel in that scenario. Cheshire Cat messing up. He's going to use the Teleportation Scroll, but gets the Yule Scepter. Now set up onto Pashibashi with the Ice Path Macropyre. He's going to take a quick fall. Ditchira still has quite a bit of Dragon form left. They're going to force a buyback, very early buyback from the Legion. Glimpse back onto Shacho. This time the Kinetic Field is going to land, but he still has the mech, still has Death Pulse. Nice. No, Afterlife can't get the stomp off. He jumped right into the middle, but he was just too slow. Now it's going to be Seema to get isolated out from the rest of his team, as Cheshire Cat's right on top of him with the Liquid Fire, setting up for another Ice Path combo. He's guaranteed to land it right now. No one cannot blink in either. He actually misses Ice Path combo. What is going on? Cheshire Cat can hit with Multicast, and now the chase is on no one. Going to set up, press the attack. Cheshire Cat can take quite a bit of damage. This duel looking like it will be won by no one. Fissure a little bit too short, as the Jakiro does get brought down by the Legion Commander herself. Another stack of damage for her. Power Rangers put a little bit of heat on the tier 3 tower, but with not enough sustain in order to capitalize fully. They end up losing a couple casualties here and there. Still, they're pushing very aggressively, and this is keeping Buhlo very much so on tilt. Like, we can see these fights are not really working out fantastically for the Buhlo side, just because they're making small mistakes, like having Legion Commander jump into a Dragon Knight and a Shaker. I mean, she didn't see the Shaker, but she could reasonably assume that Shaker was there. I mean, you're not going to win the duel with Jakiro just in a pure straight-up race when there's a Dragon Tail there. That's, like, actually impossible to happen until you have a BKB, and BKB isn't even in the works for no one. So, I mean, just plays like that are things that show that Buhlo not exactly playing the best tip-top shape right now. And Power Rangers, I mean, they're mostly playing this game like clockwork. Yeah, they're getting picked off here and there, but now they're going to try to go for Pashibashu. No kill really possible. Necrophos is not able to very easily kill off an Ember Spirit by himself, but they still have Dragon form up now, level 2 on that. Ditchira is going to actually try to go for the top lane gank, but he has a Blink Dagger. Why are people going for these ganks? I don't understand. This makes no sense. Ditchira now has wasted Dragon form, and he could have used it to help out with a Roshan, and it looks like he will still try to do that. But this is a lot of wasted pushing potential as Cheshire Cat over towards mid, being chased down by Legion. Going to set up for an Ice Path. Will catch no one, even though it wouldn't have caught her if she just fell straight down. And that's still Stampede used for Buhlo, and now it's going to be Power Rangers, knowing that the Stampede is down, looking for an opening somewhere else. Armlet is going to be the pickup for Dragon Knight, actually, so this Necrophos, though he has gone for a Hand of Midas, he's still been getting a reasonable amount of farm. Like, Blink Dagger Mech is pretty much on time, even with the Midas. So they're going to go straight into the Roshan pit, and between the Io heals and the Shacho death pulses, this Roshan should be more or less guaranteed to fall. And since Buhlo are way too far away, yeah, that's pretty much going to happen. Disruptor is going to not see anything with that freshly placed ward. And we have an armlet being picked up by Ditchira. Maybe? Yes, armlet picked up by Ditchira. Soul Ring being saved by Shacho as he is planning on grabbing the Aegis. And once this happens, they only need 50 seconds. 50 seconds, and then Dragon Form is going to be up again. And then you are going to be pushed. The question is where they're going to be pushed. Tier 2 tower seems like the most feasible way of Power Rangers to push. Although, with the armlet pickup and with a double life, it's not unfeasible for Power Rangers to just go for high ground right now. Slide down to the bottom lane and just try to get Raxes. Like 20 minutes in, you have a Jakiro with and a Necrophos with a mech, and you have a Dragon Knight. You could very easily bulldoze that, but instead they're going to go for mid. This is the safer choice. It's less greedy for sure. I mean, there's even a chance that Buhlo don't even want to make a defense here. You really can't count out a blinking Centaur and a blinking Legion Commander for making a defense anywhere. But with the positioning of Buhlo, it doesn't seem like they really want to get in. They know that if they get too close, if they get caught with a straight ice path or something, then they're just going to die. And all three of these cores on the front lines, the tower taking a hefty amount of damage. And there's nothing you could really do about this. I mean, there's so many dragons here. They need some serious people with swords, knights in shining armor, if they're going to be able to defend against this one, because dragons are freaking everywhere, man. Skyrim confirmed. Now onto the tower. Tier 3 tower. Ditchiraz opening up with his corrosive attack. Cheshire Cat poking away with liquid fire. So we got like fire poison and then more fire poison. And this tower dropping dangerously low. Shacho gonna take a chains, but still the illusion's just making a wall right now that Buhlo cannot penetrate through. Shacho dropping pretty low, but he has an Aegis, so he doesn't really care. You can win dual damage through an Aegis, but this tower very safely just chipped down. They're gonna initiate onto Ditchira now. Echo Stomp, no, not gonna quite be there as J4 gets locked down by Afterlife. Still, the duel's not gonna be won because the Dragon Knight is so very tanky. Now the setup onto the Ember Spirit, gonna get the Sleight of Fist, but instantly landing into a Dragon Tail. Now with the armlet, he's going to be brought down. Power Rangers make a 1-for-1 trade so far. Zeke being chased down, but Dragon Form running out. Actually, no, Afterlife going to reinitiate, jumps in, assassinates the Dragon Knight. That's DK down for another 40, Earthshaker down for 13. They're going to smoke up to try to get a little bit closer, I suppose. Centaur's going to blink. No, that's not Centaur. Legion going to blink the wrong way. Now Sato's all alone, looking for a side target. Will get multicasted. No relocate out. Soniko not pulling out Sato. He wants to use the scythe first, and he will do so, but now the Centaur going to give his life for that IO as the Jakiro is being chased down by no one. Should be very easily brought down. Yes, he will, but still the Sato Necrophos is running rampant. Did not get the kill onto the Ogre Magi. Now no one looking for reinitiation. Going to jump forward for a duel, and with this damage from all the duel wins, the Legion Commander is going to take out the Aegis of the Necrophos. He's going to be back up soon enough, though. And he can't continue the push by himself, but they did take down a Tier 3 tower that is with Aegis used, however. Really messy fight there from Power Rangers. I mean, they have the Earthshaker technically in the back to back heroes up in case they get into sticky situations with duels, but he just wasn't far back enough. And Fissure has an obnoxiously long range. You can stay even further back and be fine. That being said, Buhlo also forced to use a couple of buybacks in that scenario. Let's take a look at the buyback status right now. Ember Spirit used his, and Legion Commander used hers previously on the bottom lane defense. So because of those reasons, Ditchiraz right back into this fight, and they're going to go for the Raxes now. I actually really like this decision from Power Rangers. Ditchiraz going to get jumped on, though. Dropped pretty low, but they have the mech now in the tether. Ditchiraz right back up to full HP, and it's like nothing ever happened. He's even just chilling with the armlet on, and with all these dots, it's going to be up to Buhlo to reinitiate. It's going to be onto Shacho. J4 going to get silenced. Needs that fissure. He's going to land it. Finally landed no one. This duel might be won by Shacho. No, it won't. But he's still going to get out of there alive. Now Ogre Magi forced to buy back as a setup for an Ice Path combo onto Afterlife. Shacho with the scythe is going to bring him down for 70 seconds. No Centaur then. And this means no Raxes for you now. This is Power Rangers breaking high ground 23 minutes into the game, and this is not even going to be the end of it, as they can very easily slide up to top lane because, hey, look at that. There's a convenient creep wave here with a catapult as well. Ditchiraz still in the dragon form, Cheshire Cat always in the dragon form, and though they're caught in now a pretty bad field, they will just be fine. Just sit back and do whatever they want. There's a little bit of poking here and there, but without Legion and without Centaur, Buhlo have no way of actually starting these fights. It's going to be Cheshire Cat to set it up onto Pashu, taking so much magic damage. He's going to go down in an instant. No one is back into this fight, has another duel, and he can conceivably win it, but it has to be on Shacho. No stuns just yet. Ice Path can interrupt him. Shacho will not lose the duel. It will be fizzled. And Jakiro takes the kill on Legion, who doesn't have a buyback now. There's 2 Raxes ahead for Power Rangers. This is a good game. This is such a devastating amount of pushing power from Power Rangers. This is even with the Hand of Midas being picked up by Slash, though. Hanamitis basically accelerated him into just his Shiva's guard. By the way, Power Rangers, they're going to be rolling through with a very easy less than 25-minute victory off of a push comp that, I mean, it kind of looked pretty clear with the Jakiro pick and with the Necrophos pick, but definitely not after a first pick IO. Regardless, guys, Power Rangers now up 1-0 in this best of 3 series versus Buhlo. We're going to be moving on to game number 2 in just a hot second, guys, so don't go anywhere.